I often say to my students that to get a good, effective yoga practice, where you actually feel energy moving through your body and you get connected, you achieve some sort of union, which is the meaning of yoga, and physical yoga means connect your body, then the best way to do it is to make the blood flow through your body in an effective way. The most effective way to do this is to not feel like you're stretching. Now, when I say to people, stretch less in your practice, a lot of people think, well, that misses the point of yoga. But stretching is not the point of yoga. Yet, if you work effectively, if you work naturally, you will become more flexible. So you actually do want flexibility, but not by feeling a stretch. So what I'd like you to do is, if you wish, try a couple of simple experiments with me. And I'll show you how you can do the same postures, get to the same place, yet without feeling a stretch, when you apply some simple principles. The simple principle includes the application of an understanding of nerve reflexes, and especially two important spinal reflexes. The stretch reflex is a simple reflex which says that when you go to a doctor and they whack your knee with a hammer, the knee responds by tensing. If you suddenly stretch the front of the knee and the muscle at the front of the knee with a hammer, that sudden stretch in the front of the knee will cause those muscles at the front of the knee to tense up. So the simple reflex says that if you lengthen a muscle suddenly and unexpectedly with an external force, that's going to cause that muscle to tense up. The second reflex we work with is called the reciprocal reflex. It says that if you tense any muscle, if you activate any muscle, if you switch on a muscle, then that will automatically cause the switching off or relaxation or inhibition, all sort of means the same thing, of the opposite muscle. So if you'd like to see what I mean with this, if you sit on the floor and simply hold one hand against your knee and then pull as if you're trying to bend your elbow. And you pull against your knee as if you're trying to bend the elbow and feel the muscle at the front of the elbow, the biceps. That's the muscle that normally bends the elbow. And notice it feels quite firm. But while pulling, if you also feel the back of the elbow, the back of the upper arm, your triceps, that feels quite relaxed. So whenever you switch the muscle for bending the elbow, that automatically switches off the muscle that straightens the elbow. Now, you might want to use your second arm to try the opposite experiment. If you take your hand against the thigh and push against the thigh, that pushing action uses the muscle that's trying to straighten your elbow. And if you push, you'll feel the back of the elbow, the upper arm, the triceps muscle, feels a little bit active, a bit tense. But while you're pushing and making the back of the elbow firm, active, the front of the elbow, the biceps, is now completely relaxed. So this is a general principle that whenever you switch one muscle on, the opposite muscle or muscle group will switch off or relax. You can apply this principle in your practice. So for example, if you want to lengthen or stretch the back of the legs, try this experiment with me if you like, but you'll only notice it if your body is cold. So if you've warmed up in a practice, don't do this exercise now, wait till you're cold. First thing in the morning works well, or before a practice, or when it's cold weather. So simply take your right foot forward and left foot back. Keep your legs straight, keep your spine straight, and keep the chin up. Then take your hand on your right thigh, and stay there, or slide your hand down your thigh only as far as you can go, or pain, or without bending the knee. If it's comfortable, go down further. If it's comfortable, go down further still. And the ones who are very flexible, put the palms flat and lay your navel on your thigh. And measure how much stretch you feel and what you feel in your body, what temperature the body is. Then bend the knee, push on the foot, stand back up. Now, we'll do the same posture again, but in a slightly different way. If you notice, when I came in the position, the angle between my thigh and my trunk was like that. Now that posture essentially is the same as this posture. Angle the same sort of posture. But I'm going to ask you to do it in that way where possibly you might balance on one leg. Now if your balance is not good, I recommend holding a wall, and I'm holding an imaginary wall here. So the same exercise, but not using the assistance of gravity to go down, we're using the will of our internal body, using the muscles themselves. So, holding an imaginary wall with your left hand if you wish, take the same right leg forward and then make the right leg straight but come onto your toe tip. Lean fully on your left leg and bend the left knee for balance. Grip with the left toes for balance and keep looking at the floor to help you balance. Maybe you're holding a wall, that will help you balance as well. Then with the right leg straight, stay here or lift up the leg off the floor. Only lift it as high as you can with your leg straight. And if it's comfortably straight, maybe turn it out slightly, makes it easier, and perhaps lift it higher. People who are flexible could lift the leg as high as me, others might only lift the leg a little way. Now once you're in position, relax. To check you're relaxed, check your fingers can move, check your neck can move, and check your tummy can breathe. Try and be as relaxed as possible. And allow a few moments and just reflect that it doesn't feel like you're stretching. Yet what's happening is the front of the thighs have become active, and that causes reciprocal relaxation of the back of your thigh. Now to see how this affected your body, put the right foot back on the floor and we do the first part of your experiment again. Head up, leg straight, come over your right leg, go down as far as you did before and notice if it feels a bit easier, then maybe go a little bit further and notice if you can go a little bit further without strain. And notice if it feels less like a stretch and more like a movement. Now bend the knee and stand back up and notice, did your body get a little bit warmer? Let's try the left leg as an example now too. So lean on your right leg, take the left leg in front, and we do the first part of the experiment. So as an experiment, you want to try and be passive. And when we go into the pose, we're doing it mainly with the force of gravity. So with the legs straight, thigh muscles relaxed, chin up, spine straight, bend forward from the hips and come a third to a halfway forward. Less if it doesn't feel comfortable, less if you can't straighten your leg. And if comfortable, go down further, but keep your chin up. Take the hands flat if comfortable, take the navel on the thigh if comfortable, and then measure how far you've gone. Maybe you've gone a bit further, and then bend the knee and stand back up. Now we compare that way of getting into a posture to the other way, which is doing the same shape of the position without actually having gravity help you. So I lean on the right leg, maybe hold a wall for balance, grip with the toes, bend the standing leg for balance, and coming onto your left toe tip, for many people that's actually enough of a hamstring lengthening pose. But if you wish to, lift up the left leg, don't pull the foot towards you, push the foot away from you, otherwise you get nerves tensioned. Now, if comfortable, lift the leg up higher, keep holding your wall if you need to, keep bending the standing leg, gives you a better balance, and keep looking at the floor, keeps a better balance. Now once in position, it's important you relax. So check the fingers and the toes are free to move. Check the neck is free to move. Check the tummy is free to breathe. So your natural diaphragmatic breathing, and this will help blood flow. Now what's also happening is the front of your hip, you can feel it's a bit firm. That makes the back of your hip more relaxed. Front of the thigh is a bit firm to keep the leg straight. The back of the thigh relaxes. And although it doesn't feel like a stretch, when you put the foot on the floor and you come to test now, the first experiment again, slide down, suddenly it feels a lot easier to come to the same position. Maybe you can even put the palm flat, and then if you bend the knee and stand back up, notice how the body feels a little bit warmer if you're in an environment where you can test temperature. And the reason for this is because when we do it in this active movement way, the front of the thigh becomes firm and compressed, which pushes blood away. The back of the thigh is relaxed and lengthened, which acts to pull blood towards that region. So this makes blood flow through the body in a way which makes you feel warm, but the heart doesn't increase in its speed. So heart rate stays low, but circulation improves. Whereas when you did the exercise the first way, and you just passively go down, there is the front of the thigh relaxed and squashed. That won't move blood. The back of the thigh is lengthened, but it's tense, and that won't move blood either. When you experience a stretch in your body, often it's not just a muscle that's become lengthened. Usually the sensation we call stretch is a muscle that's lengthened and tense at the same time. Whereas if you lengthen a muscle and relax it in a way of in the same way as I've demonstrated just then, where you move naturally into a posture, this will actually automatically make the muscle that you're lengthening relax. And a muscle that's lengthened and relaxed will not feel as stretchy as a muscle which is lengthened and tense. so you'll get flexible without stretching. Now this might seem like a very strange thing to do, to come into postures like this, but even in this position here, instructions from great teachers like BKS Iyengar would be something like, in this position, pull up the kneecap, which tightens the front of your thigh, which relaxes the back of the thigh. And also he would say things like, stretch the mat with your feet, which causes the front of the hip to firm and the back of the hip to relax. So if you're intelligent, you can also do that. Come into this position while pulling up the kneecap, while stretching the mat with your feet, and that will give you the same effect as simply lifting the leg up. But if you don't want to explain that to someone, if you don't want to show that to someone, or if someone can't understand that, simply by holding a wall, coming to the toe tip, lifting up the leg, can give you an effective way of lengthening your hamstring, creating hamstring flexibility, and at the same time giving you a little bit of strength at the front. Yoga is about balance. Length should be developed with strength at the same time. Thank you.